Shalom. I am getting ready to start the third part. Why do you celebrate? And it's Christmas. And I just want you to take the time and just ask yourself, as a follower of the Most High, of Yahushua HaMashiach, which many people unfortunately call him Jesus Christ, the question is, why do you celebrate a day that is mixed with pagan roots? So I want you to listen to this with an open heart, with an open mind, and ask yourself, why do I think it's okay to mix paganism with what you think is right living? And when clearly we know that the word speaks against that. So here it is. I hope this video opens your heart and your mind, and that you are able to go before the Most High, and that He gives you clarity in your life, that you might flee from all the things of Babylon, all the things of this world that have deceived so many people into thinking that it's okay to partake in serving the Most High Yah and other Elohim, or other gods, which we know is something that the Most High hates. So shalom and enjoy the video.
Hear ye the word which Yahuwah speaks unto you, O house of Yashrael. Thus says Yahuwah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. For as much as there is none like unto you, O Yahuwah, you are great, and your name is great in might. Who would not fear you, O King of nations? For to you does it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms there is none like unto you, but they altogether brutish and foolish. The tree is a doctrine of vanities. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Upas, the work of the workmen, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. But Yahuwah is the Elohim of truth. He is the living Elohim, and the everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide in his indignation.
The origins of Christmas. If you did a Google search, it would quickly prove that Christmas has both pagan roots and religious. And when they say religious roots, it's referring to man-made religion. The winter solstice was celebrated long before Christianity ever existed. In Scandinavia it was celebrated from around December 21st through January. This celebration was about praising and rejoicing the return of the sun. They would burn a huge log, Yule, and feast until the log went out, often lasting for 12 days. Hence the 12 days of Christmas song. In Germany they would celebrate Odin. As they believed during the winter Odin would observe people, and determine who would prosper and who would perish. In Rome, they would celebrate the Saturn god, which they believed to be the god of agriculture. This celebration began the week before the winter solstice, and would last a month. During this month, the social order would be changed where the peasants were in command of the city. Also, during this time they would celebrate Juvenalia, a feast honoring the children of Rome. That's why even today it's all about the Christmas gifts for the kids. Catch this. Also in Rome the upper class would celebrate the birthday of Mithra, who is the god of the unconquerable sun, whose birthday was celebrated on December 25th, which some considered the most sacred day of the year.
So let me pause on the history for a second. Many claim that Christmas is the day to honor the birth of the Messiah, even though they know he wasn't actually born on that day. But in their hearts say it doesn't matter because they believe the Messiah knows their heart. Well, it does matter because whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, you're honoring a birth of another deity. These deities are also known as the fallen angel. We have to make the decision and decide who we want to serve. Do we want to serve the creator of all? Or do we want to get dismayed by the heaven and serve false gods? Because the bottom line is he does not want us mixed up in a gumbo of belief that is abominable to the Most High. There is only one right path, and it's Yahuwah's.
When talking about Santa Claus, you have to first start with Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas' life has been distorted. Saint Nicholas was a Greek born around 280 AD. He traveled to Egypt and Palestine, and became a believer of the Messiah. He sold his wealth and was known for his kindness, generosity, and miracles. He was prosecuted, and imprisoned for his belief in the Messiah. Then eventually Constantine released him. When Saint Nicholas died, it is stated his bones were stolen by Italians. Saint Nicholas was dark-skinned with brown eyes, and thin. Yet somehow his life has become filled with myths and legends. Supposedly, he is the inspiration behind Santa Claus. This fat white jolly dude who knows all, and gives Christmas gifts to all the good kids in one night, who resides at the North Pole. Santa, which uses the same letters as Satan, is simply another false image claiming to know good and evil, and used as a way to boost retail sales. The whole idea of Santa gives the false notion of the Most High as a granter of wishes, as if he was a genie. It gives children the false beliefs of entitlement, and the message that the kids who don't get everything on their list have been bad. Partaking in Santa Claus is literally partaking in lies.
Just as the origins of Christmas are rooted in the winter solstice, so is the evergreen tree itself. The solstice was celebrated in Egypt in ancient times also, and the evergreen trees and boughs were used to decorate their homes in honor of the god Ra. The evergreen symbolized everlasting life to Egyptians. For the Vikings, the evergreens were thought to be the plants of Balder, the god of light and peace. The Romans also would decorate their homes and temples with evergreen as a reminder that their orchids again would be green and fruitful, worshipping Saturn and the sun god Mithra. It is credited to Germany that they were the first to start bringing the Christmas trees in their home through Queen Victoria, and that's what led to modern-day Christmas trees. But decorating evergreen trees has been long done prior, and is a blatant practice of idolatry.
Christmas lights are evolved from the burning Yule during the winter solstice. They are a representation of the soon returning sun. The lights signify the rebirth of the sun, or the newborn sun. Lights in this aspect symbolize introspection, and a false sense of self-divinity. In this, people have succumbed to the false notion that they can have light within, without being in alignment with the Most High, and following His rules and guidelines designed for His people.
2 Corinthians 11:13-15 says, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." So as Peal or Shaul says, there will be false apostles who present themselves as apostles of the Messiah or Mashiach. And that clearly is the church. If you look up the founding fathers, who you know that they infused all religions with all pagan gods, and they call it's now called Christianity today. But all those people who were walking uprightly and following the straight and narrow path were either imprisoned, many were killed, and those were the true followers of the Messiah. So once they did all that, they have created Christianity and changed the Sabbath to Sunday. They created all these pagan holidays, and they all go against the Most High. So they have the majority of people believe that they can partake and celebrate in sin, and that it's accepted by the Messiah, it's accepted by the Most High Yahweh, and it's actually an abomination unto Him. And it's very important that, Christmas is just one aspect of it. But what light are you following? Like, are you following the true light that never fails, that never goes out? Or are you following the light of a specific season that in all reality is darkness? The devil himself can present himself as an angel of light. So we must be wise and get knowledge that we might walk in truth and walk according to the Most High's word. In these last days, we can no longer afford to be partakers of anything that is against the Most High. That is no longer, ignorance is no longer an excuse. And I don't come before you as someone who has not sinned. I had to repent myself for even being a partaker of many things, both out of ignorance and both out of the desire to be like other people or have that, that connection and that family and that love that so many people want. I partook in things that weren't of the Most High, like even partaking in the Christmas parties or doing the gift exchanges or all things like that. I had to repent from. And the times twice in my life I partook in the celebration of Christmas, I had to repent for that because, it's I'm bringing idolatry. And I'm literally going against the Most High's words. And there's no way that that's something that He honors or accepted. And sometimes, things are happening in our life. We're getting chastised in our life and we don't know why. But it's because we're living in sin and we're doing things that are against Yahuwah. And so I just wanted to tell you, that we must educate ourselves and walk in the fullness of knowledge and truth. And that's only by the Most High's grace and mercy. So the bottom line is, you listen to this video, you don't know where to start. Start with prayer. Start with asking the Most High to lead and guide you to all truth. Start with asking Him to make you an honorable vessel. Start with repenting before Him, because He is the only one who can give us eyes to see and ears to hear. And in these last days, we must come out of all the ways of Babylon. And we do not want to be caught up in the deception in any way, shape, or form. So I just want to say shalom, and until we meet again.